over 625. There's a seller, so when 625 breaks, that could be another add. My cost basis is now 630. Watching here, adding there at 19 as that seller's coming down. There's 27, 27. 20, 17, 15 on the bid. I stopped out at 5. So gave back a little profit on that, but well, you know, it is what it is. So my loss was from 632 average to 604, so about a 30-cent loss. So I was expecting a little bit more on that, but you know, again, that's the way it sometimes goes. So that's the first trade of the day here for me. Not a really clean start. We've got 14 minutes to the bell. So let's see, what else do we have? So back to the top of the list, Icon. Total profit on it, $4,811. Probably would have been closer to $15,000 if it had broken over 750 and squeezed up to 8 back here, but instead gave back some profit. So Icon, I'm not into that one. INMB. This one's pulled back a little bit more than I like. EQ. I'll keep on watch. VNRX, a little bit higher float at 35 million. So, yeah, well, as I'm sitting here kind of looking at the gap scan, it's not the prettiest looking scan at the moment. It's kind of looking like it might be a high a day Momo scanner type of day. I mean, we've got a little bit of profit on PRCP, which is good, but I tried to step up a little bit for on this dip trade for a move back up over 7, flush down, average down, didn't work, stopped out at 6, and now it's back to 530. So my initial entry was at 6. So now it's all the way back down to my initial entry. It's actually lower. So I don't like the look of that right now. High volume, high red volume. So that one, I'll keep it on a chart over on the side, but really it doesn't look that great right now. So with 10 minutes to the bell, INMB. This one, unfortunately, it's below the volume weighted average price. It could give a trade, but there's some more risk on it. Hey, enough, girl, enough. My God. high on this one here is 1792, so curling back up a little bit. EQ is moving up a little bit as well. This one, you know, at the open, I suppose will be interesting. The low is down here at 16, then back up to 20. So that's $4 a share off the low. It's a pretty big move. 1.4 million shares of volume. So again, you know, what are the levels? Well, all-time high was right there, 31. So this might double top in this area, but if it doesn't, then it's got room to 21.72 and then 23.45. So there might be something on that one. 21.30, 21.40. It's moving a little bit higher. So again, though, my 2 cents on it would be to wait for a pullback. Yeah, I see PRCP moving back up a little bit off the low, but it's still below the volume weighted average price. So unless it gets back up over, I don't know, $7, I'll probably be a little cautious on it. I'm glad I got some profit on it, and that was thanks to managing share size and not being too aggressive on my dip trades. INMB is below the VWAP. That one I'm not liking as much. We've got about 6.5, 7 minutes to the bell. .90 seconds left on this candle on EQ, and it looks like another possible sort of topping tail doji. The low down there was $20.40. And again, you know, it's true. These ones are a little higher priced, EQ and INMB. PRCP is a good price, but although maybe some sympathy momentum on that Tesla action, it clearly ran into some resistance up there. So not sure. And on EQ. The high was 17. Oh, that wasn't the high. The high right here was 1738. So at least that was a green trade. Looking for first 1 minute candle to make a new high on EQ, which is over 75. Adding there. And now looking for this to squeeze up to 18. Sold 18.15. 18.22. INMB looks like a halt going down. Sold the rest. I'm up now $1,000 on EQ. So out of the red into the green. The high of that candle was 1840. New order is going to go at 1850. Yeah, let me move this over. Sorry about that. Low on EQ was 1656. PRCP, we'll watch this one. It's lower priced, obviously. Low of day is around 520. So I want to buy PRCP. I'm just keeping my hand on the trigger, looking for that kind of search of volume. I'm going to put my order at 6. I want to make sure I time this right. Missed it. Okay, so I'm going to let it pull back for a second. This one we know is whippy. So 613 is the halt level. 615 is the halt level. Now 621. Orders at 620. Just moving my order up a little bit on it. Watching dip trades potentially. Long at 52, trying to buy the dip. There's 70. Looks like I got only a partial fill actually. Sold for now. Halt level going down is at 515. This is a flat bottom. Watching. Long here, 510, buying false halt. So see how it's ripping up? That's a false halt. So I'm going to add over 530 for a move back up, adding there 530 for the move back up to 550. So now we're seeing this picking up a little bit. Looking for 560, 570. It's got to break back up over the $0.50. Still holding 1,200 shares. Adding there, added again at 10, false halt again. As soon as I saw that buying, I jumped right in. So false halt and a pop up to 520. sold at 522 for right now, so it's about 10 cents. 15. Watching for a dip. So the halt level moved down just a little bit there. CVV, let me pull that one up. CVV is lighter volume. There is news on it. Bigger spreads. Gonna wait a second on that one. Put an order at 25. Halt levels at 30. Going into a halt, looks like. Okay, I'll watch it coming out. No, I'm not holding PRCP. I sold at 520 or 21 as it popped up. So PRCP I'm going to look to do a dip trade on. INMB. So a little bit of a kind of choppy morning. I've got some profit, but 5,200, 53 on PRCP and 1,000 on EQ, so over 6,000 on the day, which is good, but a little choppy. CVV is halted. I'm going to look on that one at 450 to be a buyer. Try to ride this momentum on it a little bit. It's a little light on volume, so mitigate with smaller share size for me, but I like it. PRCP resumption on this is going to be in about 2 minutes. So we've got two that are halted. RIGL, I don't know. I see that. Higher float for sure. Could come back down pretty fast. I don't think I would want to do the break of the $0.50 on that at that float. EQ kind of bounced off the 200. INMB, first 5-minute candle to make a new high would be over 1740. RIGL broke the $0.50. So halt level 76, 25 million shares. I didn't expect that. Halted. Huh. Well, that's good to see. High on EQ here was 1780. Watching EQ maybe for a break over 18. The VWAP is at 18.11. Starter on EQ at 68. I'm looking for this to break over the volume weighted average price. So over 18. So there's a seller at 18. Give it a second to break that level. The VWAP is at 18.11. PRCP resumption opened high. Nice dip on PRCP. Missed that. Sold EQ, small loss from my starter. CVV resumption in about 10 seconds. Orders at 450. Watching it. Watching. It's jumping around a little bit. High was in the 60s. 70. I'm doing a dip trade on it, long at 25 on CVV, and I'll look for this to pop back up over 450, the $0.50. Stopped out just above break even, $68 winner. High was 34. Tricky day. A false halt on CVV I wouldn't go for because the volume is a little on the lighter side. So RIGL was halted. Resumption is going to be in about a minute and a half or so. So first 15 minutes here has been a little choppy, but of course it's still early. So RIGL high was 76. It's also easy to borrow. Again, in order to have a really nice green day, I need something at high a day. INMB is at the lows, EQ is below the VWAP, CVV didn't hold up. RIGL, about 10 seconds to resumption, but it looks like it's going to open low. So I might do a dip to see if it just flushes down. Right now I'm just watching it. That's so volatile. I mean, that candle had a range of like 80 cents in about a half a second. So no trade on that yet for me. BOXL, let me look at that. So BOXL is one that I've traded in the past. It's a little hard to trust. Has a bit of a tendency of doing false breakouts. So I'm a little unsure about that one. There's no news on it, so that makes me feel not very confident. CLEU. Now this is interesting. Can someone just check? This is China Education. So this is one of the education stocks. I'm getting a partial fill here at 20 going into the halt. This is actually something I like because of the momentum in online education. Even though this doesn't have a specific catalyst, it's an education stock with a somewhat recent IPO. The all-time high is 662. So I'm going to put an order at $6 on this to add. This one, this is a little different, definitely in my opinion, than BOXL. BOXL, no news. I don't see a global catalyst or anything like that. CLEU, when I see stocks that start with a C, I will sometimes think that might be a China stock. So pulled it up, saw education, and then realized China, okay, this is a China stock. Now that's important because China stocks have been pretty strong recently. So even though this has light volume, the relative volume is clearly going to be high today. In fact, I can say with 99% certainty that today will be the highest volume the stock has ever traded. And because we know Chinese schools have been closed, these types of stocks have been really strong. So I'm liking it. I'm going to look to add, and over 662, it's blue sky, meaning there's no upside resistance. Have to measure a little bit of risk with lighter volume, possibly bigger spreads, but then that's also risk and reward. So while we wait on that to resume, RIGL just hit a high of 524, pulled back to 5, but did not hold the support at 5. So this is a little hard when it's this choppy. It broke a critical level, then it came back below it. So the low there was 63. Watching, I'm going to take a long on RIGL here at 66. I'm going to try to buy this dip with a stop at 450. So what I'm looking is for this to curl back up over 675. Holding, giving it a second. I want to see it hold this level. God dang it. All right, well, cut my loss on that. Stopped out. So I tried to buy the dip and flushed right down through that $0.50. So, you know, this is kind of interesting because this one is not really respecting $0.50 or whole dollars. I thought it would respect that level, but it did not. Flushed right through, and I stopped out at 441. All right, well, so much for that dip trade. The high is 524, and I don't think I'm going to go back for it. So that is what it is. $3,800 loss on that dip trade. So it puts me up $2,700 on the day. But I am holding CLEU, and this one looking to add, and back of mine is a break of 650. So we'll see if this one opens up and gives us a nicer move, better than some of the others. RIGL back to 64. Sometimes it feels like, boy, get stopped out. Now it's right back to your entry. But what if it had dropped to 3 or, you know, to $4? I mean, at a certain point, you've got to say, I got to cut my losses and try to keep the losses small. So that was the idea. Try to stop out quickly and manage the risk. All right, so CLEU. I'm watching this with an order at 5. I have one at 6, and I'm going to put one at 5.75. And RIGL, I think I'm just going to be a little annoyed about, but I don't want to try to revenge trade that one. So what I need to see on this is a break over 550. I'll look to add, and then I would expect the next halt level will be around 6. We've got about 30 seconds to resumption. RIGL VWAP was 395. All right. So recent IPO breakout, halt at 31. Orders ready to add here. Watching. Adding there at 40 and looking for this to squeeze up through the $0.50. Shouldn't have that hidden seller there. There it goes. All right, 60. Back down. 86. I don't know if I'm going to do a dip trade on this. I think I'm just going to give it a second. So I'm holding 1,100 shares. This is kind of discouraging, to be honest. This is really terrible price action that we're seeing today across the board. EQ, very difficult. CLEU, terrible. CVV, terrible. RIGL, just all over the place. This is difficult stuff to trade. So I'll try to manage the loss on CLEU. Maybe I'll do a dip trade on resumption, whatever, but that'll be a loss. And I don't know, again, it's early, it's only 10 a.m., and we've seen some really good opportunity later in the day, but I don't know if I want to, sit around until 2, 3 o'clock hoping for some type of midday momentum. So PRCP, the VWAP is at 560, and the high a day is right here at 615. So yeah, if it breaks that level, definitely. It's a little ways away. No, nothing to do with the S&P 500, today's choppiness, in my opinion. Absolutely no correlation. It's just, it's the small cap market. And it's possibly that we had a lot of stocks that people were watching. So halt level here on PRCP is at 61. So it's kind of curling up. I would say let's let it pull back and see what it does. 67 is the halt level, but it's, right into the VWAP. So my opinion on it would be let it dip. I'm going to watch it. I want to let it dip. I want to let that halt level move up. And then a 1 minute micro pullback or something like that. So that halt level is going to move up. There, it's up to 676. I'm not a buyer here, though. I need to let it pull back. Where would I be a buyer? Maybe off of, watch down here, off of the $0.50. Let's see how much it dips. It's kind of teasing that halt level. And then, whatever people sell, it dips down for a second. Halt level moves up again. But do people take profit? Does it keep going? I'm looking for a dip down to like 550. I'm looking for some people to, again, if it halts, that's awesome. I don't want to say I don't want it to halt. It looks really good right now. But for me to get a trade to add, watching, starter, 71. I'm long here. And I'm going to add over 90. Watching over 590 for the add on PRCP. Adding there at 90. And looking for this to go into a halt. Now, watching here for this to halt. And then I'm going to look to add for the break of 615. So this is looking pretty good right now. I'll see if I'll add again here at 91. So I'm adding at 91, going into the halt. Halt level moved up a little bit to 99. So I'm going to let it dip down, and then I'm going to try to get the break over $6 because now it's holding VWAP. So let's let it pull back for a second. And then an add over 95. Adding there at 95. Looking for this to go into the halt at 99. So holding 28,000 share buyer at 99. Halt level moved up again. I took a little off the table at 99, and I'm going to hold right now and then add back over 6. So this is kind of teasing these halt levels because it looks like it's about to halt and then it dips down. Sold. I'm going to look to do a dip trade. A dip off the $0.50. Adding right there at 75, buying the dip. Now looking for the curl back up over 6. First 1 minute candle to make a new high is what I want to be holding for. So watching this, holding. CLEU I sold at 81. PRCP I'm still holding, and I'm looking to add over $6. Adding there, 90. So now we're starting to curl up. We're going to look for that break over 6. Halt level 624. So the break of 6, and then we want to see a squeeze up to 615. Right? So again, we're waiting for that first 1 minute candle to make a new high right now. High of this last candle is 590. So 590 is the add spot. Dip trades off of 650. Adding right there at 650 or 660. There's a 20,000 share buyer, so I added right there as that buyer held. Now looking for this to pop back up. First 1 minute candle to make a new high. Up over, watch here, 95 for an add. Adding there for the breakthrough 6. There's 610. Holding 1,200 shares. Halt level is 630. High is 25 now. High a day Momo scanner. Now, pullback. Is it going to hold 6? I'm adding right there at 615. It's holding 6. So now I'm going to try to ride this up to 625, 630. Maybe we see a squeeze up to 650. 625, adding. Now I'm looking for 650 on this. I'm being aggressive, showing some good strength. Still holding. High of this candle is 628. Orders at 630. We're definitely holding above the VWAP, which is good. Just added there for the break of 45. Sold half 33. New orders at 650. Watching dip trades. Is it going to hold 6? Watching here. Long, 604. Buying the dip, it's holding $6. Now looking for the break of 625. 620 is an add spot. Sold at 6 for right now. 601, get back $1,000 on that trade. So I'm up 9,000 on PRCP, up 6,000, back to 6,000 on the day. The high was 640. The low of this last pullback was 550. Be nice if I wasn't down 3,800 on RIGL, but better odds making that loss back. Watching here, halt level going down is at 37. Watching PRCP, is it going to hold 550? No. I'm long here at 548. There's a buyer right there at 42. So there was a big buyer at 42, so I bought the dip. Now looking for this to pop back up to 75. Watching over 65. $37 is the halt level. Looking to add maybe on the dip here. Is it going to pop back up over the $0.50? Holding small size still. CLEU. Oh my God. Unbelievable. The high is 65. Well, I'm only down 430 on CLEU. 650 is still the daily breakout spot, so we'll see whether or not that level gets tested. Broke the VWAP. I mean, it was pretty weak there for a second. PRCP, I mean, at least had a nice pop there up to 640, but then broke back below the VWAP, coming back down. I think for new traders, this is a good market to be trading in a simulator, to be practicing. I mean, it's experience. I think with real money, today's been certainly a very difficult day. You know, but yesterday was pretty good, so it's hard to say for sure, you know, whether it's going to be easy or hard on any given day. Because some days you think, oh, it's going to be a really hard day, and then it ends up being pretty easy. So I'm holding small size on PRCP at 48. CLEU, I'll watch on resumption. RIGL popping back up there, but I don't see an obvious pattern, so I'm not going to take the risk on it. EQ VWAP is at 1761. So the high was 65. I'll put an order at $6. I'll watch this on resumption. We've got about 30 seconds to resumption. PRCP has another minute or so to resumption. I'm not sure how I'm going to trade that one. I mean, I'm still holding small size, but I could do a dip off of 5 maybe. Probably look at a dip trade on PRCP. I'll put my order at 550 for right now. So I'm going to watch CLEU first. Orders at $6. Because it did a fake out, I really want it to prove itself before I get aggressive on it. Watching. Long at 50. Looking for the break of 65, then 75, 85. Sold. I'm out at 80. New order is at 60. Looking to buy a dip on it. If it holds this level at 580, I'll get back in over 580. Watching. It's got to prove strength, prove it can be strong. PRCP, I'm just going to focus on CLEU for right now. How am I still holding 150 shares of CLEU? Guess I got a partial fill somewhere there. Well, that's fine. So the high was 83. So let it dip, got in at 50, sold as it popped up to 81. Was kind of quick to take my profit off the table. PRCP. Where is it going to catch support? It's below the VWAP, so anything down here is a little bit riskier on PRCP. CLEU would need to break over 6 to really look good. First 1 minute candle to make a new high is back over 37. Maybe I'll put an order at 42. I'll take a starter there at 37. See if we get the break over the $0.50. Sold for now. INMB, I see that. So we know our high a day on this is up here at 19 and the VWAP is at 1720 and it's currently doing a little pullback under 17. This could be a long over 17 for the break of 1720. I'll take a starter here. Long, looking for the break of 1725. Over 1750 is an add. Halt level 1781 on INMB. Watching up here to add over 45, adding there at 50. Nice. Now looking for this to possibly squeeze up to 18. Over 75, 80 would be another add. This is a break of VWAP setup now on INMB. Watching. Adding at 78. Looking for the squeeze up to $18. Holding 1,200 shares on INMB. letting it pull back for a second, and then retest, hold 17 for a dip trade. New orders at 18. Still holding, small size. High of that candle, 1841. Halt levels 1842. I'm in at 1720 and still holding. Watching to add. Watch here over 1850. Then a squeeze up to 19. Watching for a dip off of 18. Watching to add down here. It's holding $18, so this is a micro pullback. Wow, nice. Sold for now. New order. I'll let it pull back for a second, and then we'll see if we get another opportunity on this one. So $19 is the high of day. So it's back up to 19. So I want to see it hold the VWAP. I'll put an order at 19 for a trade, but really I'd rather let it pull back for a second and prove it can hold this level on INMB. Because obviously that was a big move from 17 to 19. That's $2 a share. Little flush there, but not surprising. It's just pulling back after the break of the VWAP. Double top at 19. So I'm going to let that pull back. EQ, similar setup. VWAP is 750. Watching INMB. We'll pull back on EQ. Just looking for that to break over 80, 90. Wow, INMB. So the high was 1973. Putting my order on this at 20 and just watching it for a second, waiting for the next pullback. Halt levels 1997 right here. Is it going to false halt or real halt? Real halt. Next resistance is 2290. So EQ would need to do the break of VWAP for a similar setup. I'm up 11,000 now, so moving kind of in the right direction here. PRCP tapped a high of 72, so it kind of tapped the volume weight average price there. If it can break over that level, there might be an opportunity. It's got to break the VWAP. Might put an order just at $6, so even if it's getting in a little high, I'll just wait for that confirmation. Resistance there. So you can see it's hitting that resistance level. Order's still at 6. Let it pull back and then come back up. 72, possible entry for the break through that level. Is there a hidden buyer at, nope. I thought maybe for a second there was a hidden buyer at 60, but it did break back down. I got in there, 75, PRCP, breakthrough VWAP. Next order's at 90. Watch over 85, 88. Adding there at 88, looking for the rip back through 6. Now over 6, we'll look for a squeeze back up to a high of 640. Watch this micro pullback here for an add. Adding there at 6. Selling half, 607. Holding the rest, going into the halt. We'll look to do a dip trade as it's now holding the VWAP. Adding there at 92. Now looking for 610, 615. Over 608 is an add. Watch, adding there at 6 for the break of 608. Now I'm trying to be a little aggressive on PRCP because this is showing some nice momentum. Watch 610 and then a squeeze back up to 615. Hand right now is on the buy button for an add over 610. Watching 603, 604. And you see it break that level. Still holding. I'll let it dip down. I'll add on the dip for a squeeze back up over 6. Looking for that first 1 minute candle to make a new high. INMB pulling back. Long INMB looking for the breakthrough 20. Sold INMB. New order on INMB is going to be 21. PRCP I'm still holding and I'm looking to add over 605. Watching PRCP here, 1 minute pullback. Adding there 605. Now looking for the squeeze back to 610. There's 20,000 share buyer there at 99. Sold for now at 99. 20,000 share buyer dipped. INMB. Letting it pull back here. Long INMB, buying the dip. And then I want to add over 75 for a squeeze through $21. Adding there for the break through 21. Nice. Looking to add again over 21.50 for a squeeze up to 22 on INMB. Adding there 21.25. Trying to ride this momentum on this one. There's 47. Are we going to get the squeeze and test of $22? Selling, taking profit. Now down to small size. I'm going to let it dip back. Next order is going to be at 22. PRCP, nice, hit 610. I'll still keep that one on watch. $21.50 is the next spot to watch on INMB. Adding there, looking for this to now squeeze up to 22. We're seeing some real momentum. I sold at 85 for now. New orders at 22. I'm gonna let it dip down again. Pre-market high is 22.90. This is very extended, so we have to manage our risk on this. Pulling back here. Remember, this can drop $1 a share. Look at that drop. So I'm up. About 10,000 on INMB. That's almost a bearish engulfing candle. The low is 20. This VWAP is at 18. It could drop another $2 a share. I don't know if I want to do a dip trade on it just yet. I might do a dip trade, but I'm not sure if I'm ready. PRCP 610 is the breakout spot. New orders at 615. Will $20 hold? 20? 20? Still holding? Nope, it broke on INMB. Had my hand hovering on the buy button to do a dip trade, but it broke 20 bucks. PRCP flushing down. Long at 63 on PRCP, buying the dip. This to me is an irrational drop. So looking for the pop back up to 75. 67, 68. Sold for now at 67. Selling and going a little lower. Halt levels 34. False halt could be a trade, but it might also halt. Switching to INMB. First 1 minute candle to make a new high just was right there. Up to 21. Gonna let it pull back. Problem is you've got a red doji on the 5 minute. That's gonna be a little bit of a hard candle to overcome. So it's just a very clear indicator of a possible reversal. A stop at the high of 22, 21.90 would make sense for someone to the short side. High volume, happen to be a red candle. The low that's pulled back down here is 1940. So we can see as it comes back down here where it holds support. It's possible through an ABCD pattern on the 1 minute that we could overcome that, but it's going to take a little bit more. 30,000, 23,000 share seller there on the ask at 20. VWAP is 18. I want to see how this consolidates down here on INMB. Orders at 20. Yeah, I use limit orders. Long at 14, doing a dip trade. Just taking 2,000 shares to start on INMB. Looking for it to pop back up over 50. Sold for now, 38. I'm just going to give it a second to pull back a little bit more. Didn't pop as much as I thought it would right off that 19 spot. Watch over 20. First 1 minute candle to make a new high. Watching for the first 5 minute candle to make a new high. Is it going to hold 1950? Look at that. Orders at $21. Watching this for the first 5 minute candle to make a new high, which is 21. Adding at 21. Now looking for this to squeeze up over 22. Orders adding at 22. Looking for this to rip into a halt, 22.19. Holding full size. 22.90 is my back of mind target. Watching for a dip, adding at 73, buying the dip for the pop back up to 20, 22.22. This is the first dip after that fresh breakout. Watch over 22. Nice. Very nice. Adding at 22, halt levels 22.40. Taking profit, holding small size into the halt. That break at 22. Or 20. So that was a nice one. INMB is now my biggest green stock of the day. And I'm going to look on this one for dips. 22.90 is the spot that needs to break. I wasn't watching the 10-second chart at all through that. I was watching level 2. I'm looking at the ask price and the time in sales. I'm looking at both. PRCP. Watching. Orders at 620. Buying PRCP here. I'm long for the break of 6. Halt level 612. I want to see whether or not I can be holding into a halt. 615. Watch over 610 on PRCP. Still holding. High there was 610. 610 is the breakout spot. 615. Watch back over 6. Then 610. There's 15. Flashing orders there, jumping around a little bit. Watching dip trades on it. Adding long. Big buyer there. So big buyer on the level 2. The high is 15. Over 15 is an add. Watch over 15 for a squeeze up towards 650 on PRCP. Still holding. Looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. The break over 615, 620, 630. Watch here, 610, 612 for an add. Adding there, 607. Looking for this to curl back up over first 1 minute candle over 610. This one's looking pretty interesting. High of the last 1 minute candle, or the current one, is like 608. So 608 is the first candle to make a new high. Watching. Watch, there's 7, there's 8, there's 9, 10, 15. Taking profit off the table. High was 19. Not bad, but was looking for a little more than that. Wanted to see a break over 640. All right, so I'm going to switch back to INMB, which has resumption in about a minute. EQ, double bottom. So let's watch resumption here. 2290 is our high. So I've got my order at 23. Hands on the buy button, looking for a dip, and then add over 2250. If it dips down, I want to add on the dip and then ride that rip back higher. If it opens high, I'll just add small size. Watching INMB. Adding. Looking for the break there through the highs. Watch over 23. There we go. Okay, well, that's good. Accidentally went short 200 shares. That was not my intention. I'll let this pull back for a second. I took my profit. High is 77. Covered my 200 shares for $200 profit. And I am all out for now. Gonna let it pull back. High is 2377. Watching dips down here. Long, 77. 2,000 shares, buying a dip here, looking for a pop back up to 2150. There's 2143. Not taking big size on that. It's a little risky. Sold, probably $500 profit. The low is 33. On that one, I sold on the bid. Back over 2150 is a possible long. Long, 2119. Trying to buy this dip as it's starting to curl. Watch over 2150 for a squeeze back to 22. First 1 minute candle to make a new high. Long over at over 22. Watching here 22. Hands on the buy button. We're looking for that first candle to make a new high. Adding there. There we go. That's a nice one. So we want to see a little bit higher. Sold at 22.15, 22.29. And new order is going to be... So this one I did use 10-second chart. I was looking right here at that consolidation. The high here was 22.32. New orders at 22.50. The low there on PRC on INMB was 2180. I would say PRCP is doing a 1 minute ABCD pattern with a high of 59. I'm long PRCP for the break of the ABCD pattern, and 72 is my add spot. Adding there. Now looking for this to squeeze through this level, 73, and then 83. Halt levels at 96. So this 5 minute pattern needs to break over 73. This is a 5 minute ABCD, a 1 minute ABCD and a 5 minute bull flag. Still holding. High of this candle was 70. Low was 23. Off of 23 could be a dip trade. Watching for a dip. I could have taken profit on it, and I didn't. I added. So this one is showing me it's a little choppy. I stopped out. Lost 5 grand on that trade. Hey, but you know what? Looks like that was the right spot to sell. I'd be down 7-8 grand if I was still holding. That's a tough one. It's really that we would call that a bull trap. It's a 1 minute ABCD pattern that fails, traps bull traders, and then flushes down. VXRT is a nice looking setup over 15. I would agree. The volume is high on it. Long VXRT here. Just take a quick break through this 15 level, and then over 15.25 would be an add. Watching over 15.10. High was 15.20. So kind of a funny breakout there because it broke and then came right back down to break even, actually 10-cent loss. Sold for now, $700 profit. As long as it holds 15, but it's a tricky one. So I'm up $40,893 as of right now. 1950 is the VWAP, volume weighted average price on INMB. Looking for this pop off the VWAP and a move back up towards 21 on INMB. It's 21.88. High was 21.45. All right, well, I might call it a day there. 41,000 total profit, right around there. I have a couple things I need to do, so I might do the recap either way later this afternoon or even tonight on Facebook, YouTube Live, because it's right at 11 and I got something else I need to do. So good job for those of you guys that made some money today. I'm up 41,000, so this continues to be a pretty impressive month. I'm not sure where I sit on the month right now, but I can just log in and check. So let's see. So probably another bounce off VWAP trade there, but So on the month, I was at 238,000 yesterday. So now I'll be at 268, 278. Yesterday was a good day. Yesterday was the best day of the year, of the month. So that's good. Making some good progress. Today was a little choppy, but we'll be back at it again tomorrow morning. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit.